Taco Tuesday. Cheers. Making them strong today,
but we're gonna drink it anyway
because she's feeling empowered.
Tequila makes you empowered.
Reasons why you should drink tequila: it makes you feel things,
warm and fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, today's episode number
566.
525,600. Sorry, that was rent. Okay, so we wanted to talk about today empowerment. In last episode, we actually went into like a really cool segue where we talked about like femininity, manifestation, and good vibes, and what's the word? Being your own cheerleader. But on top of that, we also want to talk about empowering other people, and how not only empowering other people helps them, but how empowering other people helps you as well, because all the vibes.
The more, and this is where, like, I've listened to it and I've talked about it before too, the more you give, even in a time where you feel like you can't give, it's good karma. It's putting it out into the universe that you don't think, like money, for example, like doing donations and buying a coffee for someone or the person next in line or whatever. Even though you're like, maybe you're scrounging pennies, things are tough right now, you know, COVID was fucking tough on people.
Yeah.
But the more that you give, it's showing the universe that like, hey, I don't have a scarcity mentality around this, 100%. And I'm just gonna keep giving it, and in return the universe is gonna give to me. And like, I have 100% done that. Like, I have given back and like, my way of giving back is, luckily for me, like, I'm with clients like almost every single day, and I hear the struggles and things that they're going for, and there's people that sometimes like they're so busy caring for, like, I've seen them care for so many people, and I'm like, who's caring for these people? And I was not in the position to be dropping the amount of money that I did for them, but I got them something that was very special and meaningful to them, and towards something that they do all the time. And it's funny because they say like, do these selfless acts, but whenever you do something like that,
it's not
it's selfish.
Phoebe's right.
Yes,
Phoebe is right.
There's no selfless act, because like, I felt so fucking good when I did it. And
it wasn't like a good, like, that was your end game. You didn't want to feel good. You wanted them to feel good, and them to feel empowered, and them to feel special.
And because they did, I in return did.
Reflected on you, and it made you feel like you help somebody. Oh, I love that.
Every single time that I have been like, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do for this individual, I've gotten it back tenfold. And it just, I don't know, it just give back, spread the love, tell people that you love them. I saw this really cool thing the other day of, what's his name? Will Smith, and he said, you should never just casually say bye to someone. Like, you don't know when the last time it's going to be that you see that person, and you shouldn't just casually say bye. Like, you should mean it, and like, that's the way you should live your life. And I was like, it's deep. It hits deep.
I just feel like it doesn't have to be monetary things either. It even just coming, like, just speaking about social media and seeing, the competition on social media is so ridiculous, because, and especially between women, because there's comparison between fitness models, or there's, like, this person hasn't been doing what they're doing long enough, and I'm doing the same thing, and I'm not as successful, you know what I mean? There's that sort of thing. And there is more than enough room, there is more than enough clients, there is more than enough everything, money to go around for all of us to all be successful. So 1 minute spent putting somebody else down or thinking badly about another person just it's shitty, and it makes
it's a waste of your time.
It doesn't make you feel good either, because then you just feel like you're not accomplishing more. Well, how about this? How about you empower that person, because that person is going out and putting their nose to the grindstone and working and pushing for their dreams the same as you. So recognize the same effort and the same energy that's being put into their business as you were putting into yours, or your life, or your hobbies, or whatever it is. Recognize that, and then step your pussy up, man. Like, and then do things for you.
And it's nice, like, in that moment of seeing someone else like killing it on social media. Yes, we all know social media is a highlight reel. We get it, but that's good. Like, celebrate their successes. Yeah. It's there for a reason. Like, instead of being like, oh, I wish I could have a life like so and so. How about you be like, you know what? Good for her. Like, yeah, big clap for this person. And why doesn't that motivate you to do it? Because if she can do it, why can't you? Like,
there's so many things about like energy and manifestation and stuff like that. When you are on the right path, you are going to start seeing people reflecting back at you what you could possibly have and what you want in this life. So don't take it as a, oh fuck, she's already done it, so I can't do it anymore. Take it as, oh no, she did it. Okay, that's my sign that I can do this too. And so that's what I've really gotten into on social media. Like, I've unfollowed and blocked a bunch of people that just negatively affect me, that I don't like the way I feel when I interact with them. However, seeing the women on my social media or in my life or whatever that are accomplishing something, that are living lifestyles that I want to live, that have even remotely something that could pertain to something that I want, I take it as, oh my God, good for you. I am working towards that, and I know how hard it is. So good for you. You know, like, it's all about bringing each other up and empowering and
especially like during the past few years, like during the time of COVID, there has been so much hate, so much negativity,
so much separation.
So, like, it's insane. I posted this thing on my story the other day of this guy. I can't, it's like mindful movement or something like that. Anyways, his page is awesome. I think he's mainly on TikTok. Anyways, he's the guy that holds up a sign with a blindfold and says, like, if you're feeling depressed, like, come give me a hug, and like he gets hugs from strangers.
Was this the unvaccinated? Whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated,
I still love you.
That does not change my feelings for you. I still love you. Yeah.
And there was people that were like, well, what side are you on? He's like, why does it matter? And people were still being dicks to him.
Oh, calling him disgusting.
Yeah, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, if this person is saying, like, it doesn't matter. We are all going through a human experience. Like, it does not matter. It is shitty that there are sides, but we can't ignore the fact that there are sides. There are, and it's shitty that society has done that to us. But like, stop being so negative. Like, understand, like, if people are scared, if people feel whatever they're feeling, that you have to acknowledge that is their own human experience, and you have to come from a place of love. And if someone is terrified or on the opposite side, again, just respect that, because we should be sharing love. And like, how you would treat someone in your own family, like, just I don't know.
But even then, like, families are being torn apart because of all these decisions. But regardless, it's like, you
try to focus on the positive and just spread more love. Tell more people that you love them, and like, have more high fives, have more claps, have more likes for people, because we need more of that right now.
I just don't see a point. Well, and you know what I said before? I said that we manifested this negativity, and it's continuing to be perpetuated, because as we look at media and we look at all this negativity, that's what we're feeding into, is that negative energy. And the more we focus on it, the more it's going to manifest itself. So I just think it's up to us to change the narrative and start focusing on all of the good and positive things. And that's what I was doing at the beginning of whenever all this happened. Because instead of focusing on the fact that things were getting shut down and I was getting shut down and I lost my clients, I was focusing on the fact that I've got elderly neighbors, and our neighbors were offering to go and buy them groceries and help them out because they couldn't go anywhere. Or the fact that, you know, like my aunt in High River, she was a teacher or a retired teacher, and so she opened up her home because she wasn't going to be doing anything to parents that still needed to work because schools had been shut down. Stuff like that, just like the positive, good, uplifting stories. And it's harder to see and it's harder to acknowledge because there is so much
negative
that's going on.
Yeah, and that's where you have to be mindful of your social media, because like I love social media.
Yeah.
I love it, but I am very picky about my social media, about who I follow, what things I pay attention to and watch and like, because it knows and it watches you. Because if you like one anti-vax thing, then all of a sudden your feed is all anti-vax, or the opposite side of things too. So whatever you're watching, it's just going to keep feeding into that, and then you're freaking going insane. So be very mindful of what you're paying attention to. So for me, it's like dogs and food and like comedians and funny shit, because that's what I want. I want to laugh. I want mindless, feel good kind of stuff. I don't want any of this bullshit.
Well, and like COVID aside, regardless of what's happening with COVID, I know that it's an important topic, and people just can't help but talk about it.
Yeah,
it's just because it's there. But regardless of that, I feel like in day to day, there needs, because we've talked, like I feel like we refer back, but we always talk about like the 3 good decisions that are to make a day, or and I feel like one of those decisions, or in addition to, is to have a because we're all human, we can't all have positive mindsets all the time, every single minute of the day, but to choose to change the narrative and see the positive of things. I feel like that needs to be a decision for everybody, because your husband comes home cranky or calls you on the phone because he got locked out. Because he got locked out because I locked the wrong door. But like, rather, like, I got annoyed by that, and instead of seeing like the putting myself in his shoes or whatever, Jenna was just like, hey, he had his arms fully, couldn't open the door. And it was as simple as that. It was just,
and it's snowing,
and I just let it go. But like, I feel like that needs to be more of a conscious decision in order to stay in this good vibration of we can take on the world, we're empowering other people. Like, but it's up to us to change the narrative.
Yeah, and that's where I think, like, again, it goes back to the human experience that we're having in a situation like that, and in anything, like any relationship that you have with your friends, with your partner, whatever. You're not going to be positive all the time, but try to not both be negative at the same time. Allow that person, if they need a moment to mope or to vent to you, allow that and appreciate it, respect it, and then like help them get out of it.
Not even, like, I don't even think that helping, because sometimes there's just nothing there's nothing for it. You can't help a person when they want to get out of a funk, but what you can do is empower them. Be there, like you said, be there for them. Listen, just even just like, that, like, just I touched her knee, by the way, but like just even little things like that, and just reassuring a person or people or your family or whatever that you're there, that you're trying as hard at life as they are. There needs to be some sort of understanding.
That being said, there is a fine line that you are not responsible for other people's actions. So there is a fine line, and you need to know where that line is for you, because there has been friendships that I have had, and that I was there and I was there and I was there and I was there, and it came to a point that I was like, I cannot be there anymore because it's affecting me, and I cannot continue to be positive because it's bringing me down, and so I needed to make that change. So still be aware of honoring yourself and your own human experience, because you're not responsible for them either. Yes, first thing to do, try to be there, be loving, be positive, empower them, but you have to know your line as well, so you're taking care of yourself as well.
And that doesn't necessarily, like, ending a relationship, if you ever have to end a relationship, that doesn't mean that you hate the person. That doesn't mean that you're sending them bad thoughts and you hope they die or fail. Like, that's never going to be your thought.
But ending a negative relationship can also be super empowering.
100%.
Once you acknowledge that, like,
I mean, if you're sitting there, like, can you imagine, like, so say you and I ever broke up, right? Can you imagine how? Wow. The hate. But can you imagine if that was our state? If we were at home just sitting, just like, I wonder what Jenna's saying. Fuck, I hate her. Can you imagine? Like, first of all, that's exhausting.
Yeah.
That's exhausting. But it was just like, okay, things didn't work out. It sucks. And and I wish her the best, you know, and like she wouldn't be sitting around bitching about me to Pablo, like that just I just feel like
why waste your time on that?
Exactly. Not that I'm a waste of time, or you are, but you know what I mean. Like it's just.
It can be when something is difficult, when a relationship is challenging in any sense, and you finally work up the courage to say, like, this is not serving me positively anymore, and make that switch. It is like a weight lifted off of your shoulders. Yeah. Whether that is, maybe it's a family member. Like, just because it's family does not, most of the time they get more chances, but it does not mean that they should tear everything from you.
They don't get a free pass. No. And I just think, you know, back to spreading positivity and empowerment. If you are in a state where you feel like you're working really, really, really hard to be the positive and empower other people, and you just feel like all it is just an energy splurge, and you're not getting anything back in return, and there's nothing in your environment that's feeding you and feeding your energy, get out, because it's just we only have, like, this sounds so cliche. I think we are the queen of cliches, by the way. But we only have one life to live. Life is short, and it's a true statement when you really think about the things. Why spend 1 second being malicious and or purposely trying to hurt somebody or bring somebody down, or hiding behind a keyboard and insulting people? Why spend 1 minute doing that? Why? Like, there's literally no point for it. It doesn't accomplish anything. All it does is end up making you feel
shitty.
Yeah, and the other person shitty. And you know what? But honestly, the other person probably doesn't give a fuck anyway.
Yeah,
probably just brushes it off, like, you're, you know. It's, I don't know. Like, I just feel like life is short, and there's no point in comparing yourself. There's just, I've said it before. Our purpose here in life is to build our best, most authentic selves, and be the most, and reach a level of genuine happiness. Mm-hmm. That's all our purpose is here in life. It's not to, you know, it's not to change the world. It's, for some of us, it's not to change the world. For some of us, it's not to go on to be life-saving doctors. Some of it, like my mom says this all the time. She's like, my purpose here in life is to be at home with my grandchildren and help out my family. It could be as simple as that, but if you can find empowerment and happiness and be in a state where you feel you're living your best life, I think that's...
Yeah, and everyone's best life is their own choice, and my definition of my best life is going to be different than Amber's, and then her mom's, and then so-and-so, and whatever. Yeah. And that is okay. It is okay for people to want different things, and we should just come at it from a place of love and empowerment and say, you go, Glen Coco, you do you.
Glen Coco. I agree. I just... feel like that's good. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Well, cheers, you guys. We love you. Thanks for watching.
Stay positive, empower, uplift others, and just live your best life.
Live your best life. Cheers.